Well, it is all over in Buffalo City Stadium, Eastern Cape. But it is the home of legends. Mamelodi Sundowns 3, Chippa United 0. A beautiful goal from Uranus and excellent praise for a substitute other sales that puts Mamelodi Sundowns as the champions of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 champions of the PSL for the 8th time in a row. I say of the PSL because it was Absa, it was DSTV, now Betway, but
Castle Premiership.
But no, I'm talking about the 8th time in a row from Absa.
Yes.
What a team!
Oh well, there's never been a doubt. To people who watch football every day, you can never doubt Sundowns. Maybe if you only see Facebook posts and media statements, you may have a bit of a doubt. But when you watch football every week, every day, you can never doubt this team. And this year was not different.
You say this year was not different, but I say this year was different. Because last year, it was easy. It was like a 20 points gap from number 2. But this time around, number 2 was here. Orlando Pirates was here. They were competing this time around. It's just that they dropped the ball sometime around in April, in March. But they were here the whole season.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, they were here because I think in their minds they thought they were competing. But to someone who was watching, you could see the tactics that the committee, the fixture committee, was trying to use to give them an advantage, where they would not play some games without any reasons given, where their games would be postponed by a day or two. You know, all those antics that were tried to be used by the fixture committee gave Pirates maybe the difference from last season to this season, and it's made them to be a team that is closer to Sundowns. Other than that, there isn't much because they most of their wins they were not very much convincing. They will get 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1. Maybe there's about 4 or 3 really convincing wins that they got, including the one that they got in Orlando against Marumo Gallants. I can name a very handful of those victories where you could say this is a championship team. So in any event, Sundowns has always shown that they wanted this thing, and from the start they've always been consistent, going to the Champions League, coming and playing their games, you know, trying to make sure that their players are fresh, trying to ensure that they rotate the lineup as much as possible, and keeping everyone motivated and keeping everyone hungry. You know, it has been a cycle, they showed great experience in doing that, which resulted in this 8th Premiership Premiership trophy that they've delivered before the table of Dr. Patrice Motsepe.
This is quite exceptional, because this is not something that we see anywhere in the world. Ungabala, like there won't be more than 5 teams that will do more than 5 league titles. Because you figure go 8. You can think go Bundesliga. We can talk about it Bayern, and in South Africa we talk about Mamelodi Sundowns that they have been able to do this. And if you look into it in the PSL era, Mamelodi Sundowns have managed to win 15 PSL titles. And umuntu balandelayo, it's Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates with only 4 each. And then abanye they've got 2, 3, 2, abanye 1. So that says a lot about the Mamelodi Sundowns as a team. It says a lot about the players that they acquire, the coaching, the technical team, and maybe the chairperson himself.
Yeah, I think it is the dedication and the investments that is being put in by the board and the owners of this team that give them these results. Well, people may say that it's only money, but Motsepe has stayed with Sundowns for almost 7 seasons in charge of Sundowns, splashing money like nobody's business, and the team would be found around position 10 and almost get relegated. So it goes down to the personnel that it brings to his team, the players, the attitude, all those factors that play in to ensure that the team is organized and the team is as competitive as Sundowns has been in the past 8 seasons now in a row. So it's a very big congratulations to all my Sundown people. I know it's hard to celebrate as a Sundowns person because immediately when you win, people start saying that they are supporting Manchester United, Manchester City. They don't watch South African football just because Sundowns won. But now they can win four or two team cup, and then that would be celebrated even by the government of South Africa. You will see Sundowns you won't see a post from South African government congratulating Sundowns tomorrow or even today, but we saw the same post coming over the weekend from a team that last won anything since 2015. So it's very difficult being a Sundowns fan. You have to be strong, you have to know what you are doing, and you have to know the ins and outs of your team and celebrate it with everything that you have, and never let anyone distract you from celebrating the Sundowns victories, because it's a team that has the right to compete in the South African League, and they are still going to compete until Jesus comes back.
Oof, that's bold, and that's very, very bold. But there's something that you touch on, Yoguti. Since Motsepe came in, Mamelodi Sundowns, was it 2004, 2003?
Yeah, it's around 2003.
So since he came in, he's been splashing money left, right, and center with Sundowns, but the results were not forthcoming. There was a time when Mamelodi Sundowns finished in position 11, out of its top 8, and they were nowhere nearby winning it. But now they're back on form and they're winning it. When was the change? So if you say it's not the money, because the perception is that it's because Mamelodi Sundowns in Mali, that's why they're able to succeed like this. So if you say it's not about the money because previously the money was there but the success was not there, what changed? What did they do right?
Everyone knows that it's not about money, because if you date back to 2007, 8, 9, 10 until maybe 14, every radio station and every newspaper, you'll find people telling you how useless money is and how money cannot buy success. So it's a widely known truth that money cannot do everything for you. So
until you start winning.
Yeah, until you start winning, then the narrative changes. But you can't take the second narrative, because the first narrative is the one that you accept, because it's the one that is widely known, and the people that you follow and believe in them, that they know football, have been saying that. So if they change their mind, they look like madmen. Then you can't follow a madman. So with that said, I think they were struggling to get the results between 2008 until 2014, until they hired Coach Pitso Mosimane. And since Pitso arrived, the mentality of the entire institution of Sundowns changed. I don't know, maybe he was sent from heaven, because he had already played for the team and he had won the league titles before with the team as a player. And when he came back as a coach, he knew exactly what was supposed to be touched to revive the then sleeping giant. And then since then, he stayed for almost 10 years at Sundowns, and then after his departure in 2020, there have been quite few changes in the bench, but you could still see that the mentality still remains, and the culture, which was restored by Pitso, is still ongoing. And every coach that comes, they know exactly what type of football Sundowns needs to play. They know exactly the level of mentality and the level of focus they need to put the team into. So I think the appointment of Pitso Mosimane in December 2012 was the turning point for Sundowns, and since then things have never been the same. Since then, people have left our football to go and watch the EPL. People are watching more of La Liga now, as if we don't do the same. we have our teams in England and we watch them every weekend. But we won't come around on the street when you ask me what team I support. I won't tell you I support Manchester United. I won't be telling you I support Manchester City. I won't be telling you that I support Barcelona. I support my local team through thick and thin. Yeah, and that's it. I can write a book about Sundowns, but we don't have that much time today.
Well, speaking about time, let's do just briefly about today's game, because as much as we do want to analyze the game, but we cannot run away from the fact that today is a celebration. Yes, there is a really big celebration coming on Sunday when people will be given an opportunity to win a car. So, but we are not there yet. But Nanamhlanje, it's very much of a celebration. But so just briefly take us through the game, not too long, because our director is already putting out his cards. Director, we are celebrating namhlanje, so let's get in. So how did you make of the game, the first half and the second half? Just summarize the whole game.
I think it was a good game, but I have to be very critical of the pitch of Palo City. The municipality needs to look into it going to the upcoming season, because I think Chippa is going to use that stadium more, and teams like Sundowns, who are carpet football teams.
I'm sorry to cut you, and I think that's a very, very important point for them to use that stadium more, because have you realized the number of people that come out when they're playing in Buffalo City compared to when they're playing in Nelson Mandela Bay? Yeah. So people, that place is at the centers where people are, so they get an opportunity to then come out and watch the games.
Yeah, so I think the people of Tanzania and East London at large love Chippa United. Yeah. I think even in their early days they used to go play there. So I think the municipality needs to try and improve the pitch, because teams like Sundowns are going to come there and they have to play their normal football. So going back to the game, it was a good game. I think Chippa did try to press Sundowns and try to create advantage from the wings through Azola and Ufilenda. But I think Sundowns dealt with that very well through Suarez, who was playing more of a half fullback, and Umrena on the right, and the game progressed, and we saw Sundowns getting an advantage from Ikram Reines, a very good combination from Reines and Ribeiro, who have been very beautiful twins for Sundowns this season. They've assisted each other quite a few occasions. You wouldn't think that they are competing for the Golden Boot if you didn't know. Good goal from him, very smart. Reines is a top player. I have to say this. All thanks
to Manqoba, who brought him to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Of course. And then the game progressed. We went to second half. Chippa were very stubborn. They didn't want to concede, but they did have quite a few mistakes that they were making. Ribeiro and Matthews were getting chances. Matthews drilling from wide, trying to go and hit the net, but he looked very desperate today for the goal. I think he should have had maybe one assist or scored one goal, but he looked very impulsive and he looked like someone who was desperate to get a goal, but eventually he did not get one. And then until the substitution of Ushalulile and Sales with Reines and Ribeiro, we saw Sales coming in and scoring a very good brace. And I have to say, Sales is gonna feel like a very new signing for Sundowns come next season. He took time to gel into the team, but ever since he gelled, I think he has a very good stats compared to other players who are widely talked about in the country, and no one is going to talk about that except us.
What players who
like a really Mfuking?
That's a top player.
Yeah, he's a top player, but Sales has a better stats than him. And no one is going to talk about that.
No, but if you're talking about stats, you talk about goals and assists, right?
Yeah.
It's more than just that Mfokeng brings to the Orlando Pirates.
And Saleh as well. He influences the games for Sundowns. He does.
So you're saying Usale's got better stats than
with less games he's played, he's got more goals and he's got more assists.
But Saleh's is an international signee, 60 million, and pretty much older than Mfokeng. Mfokeng is just a boy coming from MTC, so I don't think the comparison is fair.
Why compare Mfokeng with Ripero? Because who's this guy on Supersports, Pumuzo, that did that every game until match day 15. Since then, I haven't seen that comparison. So I'm trying to put Mfokeng into his own level of Saleh's and Makhalwa's. The players that I don't think had very big seasons, but they showed potential. When you move up to players like Cabo Ripero, then I don't think he should be on that table as well. So as for Saleh, I'm putting him in that level. That's where he belongs, and he should be happy to be there until he graduates, maybe next season.
Well, it's a congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. Beautiful goal from other cells, the mistakes from the goalkeeper, Chippa United. Maybe before we close, that's a very much talking point. Maybe to Umvala, the return of Umvala, and to Mamelodi Sundowns. What does that mean to Mamelodi Sundowns fans and looking forward to a Club World Cup? And secondly, let us talk about the goalkeeper blender from Chippa United and the decision to take him out on a spot based on that mistake, I presume.
Yeah, I think it's gonna kill the mentality of the player. Normally, I wouldn't like to have coaches substituting the players like that. I think the last time I saw that happening, Sundowns once did that. They were playing a long time ago. One day, I think it was the last game for Viomere Sundowns. We were playing against Pietermaritzburg United in Pietermaritzburg, Telkom knockouts. Viomere created a set piece for Maritzburg United. He handled the ball outside the box. We considered the coach, I can't remember who was the coach at the time, he took him out. And since that day, we've never seen Viomere playing for Mamelodi Sundowns. So it speaks to the impact that it might have. The coaches are there to protect players, not to destroy them. And when you show that in public, it's very difficult for a player to recover because everyone is going to talk about it. It's better when you shout at him in the changing room because he's with his teammates there. They're not going to expose him. But when you do that in front of everyone, it's going to be a very big talking point.
Hard luck, Johnsons. But let's move forward to Umvala. Skafula Mlilo coming back to Mamelodi Sundowns. This isn't Walimala, but now he's coming back, and there are so many games or critical games that Mamelodi Sundowns is going to play as far as the Club World Cup is concerned, and also CAF Champions League.
Yeah, the coach is spoiled to choices, and I'm happy to see Umvala coming back. Neo Mayema too.
Yes.
I'm very happy for those players. It's a very good thing to see. And one thing about this season, I saw players maturing towards the end of the season. Normally around this match day, cycling, the players show fatigue and they are tired, which is the reason why we find it very easy to lose on the semi-finals of the Champions League. So this season, everyone looks ready. Yeah. Everyone looks ready to deliver, and so it's a kudos to the conditioning team at Sundowns and the coach. And we wish we kept this season with the big fish in Cairo and on the 1st of June.
Well, that's just about it. But Mamelodi Sundowns are the champions of the PSL for the 8th times in a row. 8 consecutive years. Let that sink. Because that's huge. It's big. It's something massive. You want to say something?
Yeah, we hope we are going to get a message from the South African government congratulating us.
They don't owe you anything.
But we are the citizens. Aren't we supposed to be giving equal treatment?
Oh my God.
Are we not supposed to be getting equal treatment?
Let me close. If they want to do that, they can do that. So they are not forced to do that.
But they've set the precedent.
Well, bafowethu, we will see you on Sunday when we do igame Mamelodi Sundowns. Lapho sizobe sequkula khona official, but we all know right now.
Una trophy bazoyiqukula. Asazi noma.
Sizoyibona khona Sunday. Konje. Akanje what?
Uzophuma. Thuyinomlando. Thuyipendiwe nje. Kahle mayichaza uchairman.
What colors?
No, asazi should vele izoba yisiliva. Kodwa yabo
Upende lesiliva.
No, engraved. Yabo kuba engraved. Yabo ithombe lezi eziba khona kwisiliva.
Well, the colors of Betway Premiership is black and white. And they talk about Jomosono, and there is that kid Labovela Meganje, if you color. So there's so many things that I don't understand about this Betway Premiership, but
uchairman wayichaza wathi nomlando. Siyabonga kakhulu babukhoza ngeleague ihambe kahle kule season, and we are looking forward to the trophy. Sithembe usizoba yinhle na.
Well, this is just about it, but we are out of here. Uma uthi uyaqala ukujoyina, please do subscribe, share utshele nabakazi ukuthi uyayenza ikuphathele okungaphathwa abaningi. From mina bana mnikazi uKapela ugcoza ijabane baqoqo kuba ihlangene ayipheze futhi ukuhamba manje.
Asibonge 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.